the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, the location for the 76ers. An absolute blur with a ball, with a jump shot to make defenses pick their poison. Tyrese Maxey, always dangerous, as they gear up for tip-off at the United Center. Sixers, Bulls, up next. We're back in a moment. Happy holidays, everyone. Here are the five for Philadelphia. Maxey and Edgecombe man the backcourt. George and Embiid are up front. And it's Oubre in at the three, the small forward. And for the Bulls, Richaun Holmes is out there with Buzelis. Then it's Corey Joseph. Then there's Anthony Simons. And it's Dozier in at the small forward. Three-pointer, Buzelis. Grant, having played in the league, you must have a good idea of how these guys are feeling this deep into the year.
No, B.A., it's hard to describe. There's such a physical drain on your body. And mentally, it might be even more difficult.
Pass to Joseph. Simons outside. This one for three. Paul George pulls it in. Now here's Embiid. And then Embiid with the dunk.
Defense looks helpless against Embiid on that slam. He's just too physical.
And here's Simons over Maxey. Pass to Joseph. Chicago passing it around. The shot by Buzelis no good. Here's Edgecombe coming off a terrific game against Brooklyn. And it's Maxey missing. Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. Buzelis' shot is good.
Just good, aggressive play by Buzelis. Not shying away from some physicality inside.
Here's Maxey. And Holmes with the block. Simons, right side. Pass to Dozier. Here's Buzelis. The three ball. No good on the shot.
Slow going for him this quarter. The defense putting up a good fight.
So far, Grant, we've seen some encouraging intangibles from VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah, you know, he reminds me of Victor Oladipo or even a Dwayne Wade physically. Just an explosive athlete. And I love the way he uses that strength and quickness at the defensive end of the floor. And at 6'10", Buzelis is becoming a very difficult cover for defenses, especially when he's aggressive in trying to score.
Now here's Maxey. A real weapon on offense, averaging around 24.5 a game. Pass to Embiid. Lets it go. It's not going to go for him.
Now, I understand that that shot didn't go down, but they will take that look every trip down the floor.
Dozier can't get it to go. Philadelphia's gone 0 for 2 from outside. And here's Maxey outside. Gets the three to fall.
The number of threes are increasing for Maxey since he entered the league. He is getting more comfortable out there.
Pass to Buzelis. There's Simons with a three. Rebound by Philadelphia. They beat the Bulls during their last encounter in Chicago.
In their last game against this opponent, they secured the win because their second unit really stepped up.
Yeah, the reserves added another dimension to their offense, and the opposition had no answers on how to slow them down.
Three-pointer, Buzelis. Rebound by the 76ers. Edgecombe's got 4 rebounds now.
Okay, so if I were to say this was a disaster of a period for him, it would be an understatement. But hey, sometimes you gotta shoot your way out of the slump, even for him.
Pass to Buzelis. And now the first timeout called here for Chicago. They come into this one following the loss to Atlanta.
It was poor efficiency scoring the ball. They needed too many attempts to get their points.
Yeah, it looked like they were settling out. They're not moving the ball enough to generate the type of shots that they wanted.
A big group substitution here for Chicago. Tice is checked in for Holmes. Lyles comes in for Buzelis. Knox, he's checked in for Dozier. And it's Morris in for Joseph. Philadelphia also making some changes. Drummond's checked in for Embiid. Watford comes in for George. And it's Edwards in for Oubre. Timeout called, the Bulls.
Failing to find a rhythm offensively. Something that needs to change and change soon.
And coach called his timeout to try and reset things on offense. Shake them up a bit so they can hopefully start getting some shots to fall.
And for the Sixers, the growth of Tyrese Maxey has meant everything, Grant.
Oh my, his growth both with his play, but also with his leadership has meant a lot. And he has such a joyful energy. It really helps pull this team together.
2 minutes remaining.
Already +5 in terms of rebound margin.
Knox the pass to Lyles. Out to the right wing. Now Tice. Here's Knox. Connects from downtown.
He's consistent from out there, especially when you give him that kind of room.
The Sixers leading. Got a piece of it. Ooh, Morris with a steal. The shot is good, and this game is back to even.
Attacking in the painted area. Clearly that was their game plan coming in.
Pass to Watford. And he dunks it down.
And their offensive rebounding is such a strength for them when he's on the floor.
Yeah, he really helps them extend possessions, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can feel coach smiling on the sidelines with every offensive board.
That gives them the lead. Knox has got 6 points.
If you're not right up there on him, oh, he's going to make you pay.
Edwards for 3. It's rebounded by Morris. And here's Morris. He'll bring it up for the Chicago Bulls. Here's Knox. Count it. And it's Morris with the assist. He's got 9. 43 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And here's Maxey outside. He's off on that one.
And the defense dodged one right there. Not the guy you want to leave open.
Here's Knox. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
And what's working here, each guy is willing to make the next pass.
Morris outside. Hey, expanding his range. Rebound by Philadelphia.
So far, rebounding has been a focal point for them.
And Edwards, here we go. And Edwards slams it in.
Strong finish to cut into that lead a little.
Man, left no doubt with that one, Grant. Here's Knox. An absolute bomb from three-point range.
Yeah, he's in his bag from beyond the arc right now. You see his confidence.
And, of course, it helps space.
And so it's the Chicago Bulls finishing the quarter with an 8-point lead. Great team defense on Paul George. They're limiting what PG is doing out there. Time for a quick break, then back to the action. If you're just joining us, we played through one quarter in this one. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for Chicago.
Well, so far, their long-range shooting has been the story, doing damage from deep.
And from the jump, they've also clearly been focused on running effective plays here tonight. And there's been a lot of high-quality distribution from them on the floor.
So, on the floor for Philadelphia, Maxey and Edgecombe man the backcourt. Then there's Kelly Oubre, and it's Barlow in at the power forward. Time now to hear from our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Thanks a lot. Tyrese Maxey, a late first-round pick back in 2020. He's become an all-star. He said, quote, "I've always had that chip with me from day one. I had to earn everything I got from a basketball perspective and to make a name for myself. I try hard to foresee and envision this." Back to you, B.A.
The drive for greatness. All right, Allie, appreciate the report. Count it.
He's getting it done offensively, making winning plays at every turn.
Here's Edgecombe. Buzelis grabs the board. Chicago leading by 8. Dozier the pass to Lyles. Chicago passing it around. Here's Knox. And there's another one for Chicago.
I'll be honest, he's having a better quarter than a lot of my nights back when I played.
Pass to Bona, shot to stop the run. And he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
Such great feel for the game and where his teammates are. Maxey letting his basketball IQ take over.
Timeout called, the Bulls. And one move we're seeing more frequently these days, Richard, the self-alley-oop.
T-Mac might have been the first to do it back in the 02 All-Star game, but now you see it a few times this season, but it is still a major highlight every time.
Chicago making a switch here. Holmes is checked in, and Philadelphia also making a switch. George, he's checked in for Oubre. Barlow passes to Maxey. Here's Bona, defended by Holmes. Back to Maxey. Buzelis grabs the board. Buzelis has got 4 rebounds in the game. To the paint. Pass to Knox. From outside the arc. Offensive board. Here's Buzelis. Here's the 3. And that one's good. Knox. Knox has got 28 points for the game.
Wow, their opponent is doing a tremendous job spacing the floor.
Maxey finds George. And right away, they match it with a 3-pointer of their own.
This quarter, they're doing some real damage from outside the arc. Trying to stay within striking distance here.
Knox. Ooh, nice D from George. 76ers trail by 11. From 11 feet away, again Philadelphia.
And their offense seems to be coming around. Now they're shooting upwards of 50% from the field.
Out to the right wing. Here's Knox. 26 points for him last game against Atlanta. Over to the left wing. Here's Dozier. No good on the 3. And so it's George with it. He brings it up for Philadelphia. And here's Maxey outside. And Philadelphia hits again from deep.
That's his second triple of the quarter and third of the game. Keep building.
Well, the rise of Tyrese Maxey has been fun. What do you think makes him such an exciting player, RJ?
Oh, it's his speed and tenacity for sure. He might be the quickest guard in the league right now. And in addition, he's also become an absolute knockdown shooter. He's had a rough start to this game, and that's being nice. But he's gotten back on track here in the second.
The Bulls with another miss.
Impressive closeout on a skilled shooter. That is how you defend shots from downtown.
Here's Barlow. Second chance effort. Buzelis grabs the board.
Despite the miss, those are the kind of looks coaches hope to create.
Here's Knox. And he can't stop the run as that one misses. 76ers trail by 3. Here's Maxey. Rebounded by Joseph. Pass to Buzelis. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
And the defense has to offer more resistance. Can't let guys like Buzelis get this close to the rim.
And it'll be Philadelphia with their first time out of the game here. They want to keep rolling here following the win against Brooklyn.
It was a lockdown effort defensively, contesting shots and really protecting the paint area.
They were very disciplined on that end of the floor, staying attached to shooters and disrupting plays with their active hands.
And a new group getting ready for Chicago. Tice is checked in for Holmes. Lyles comes in for Knox. Anthony Simons, he's checked in for Dozier. And it's Morris in for Joseph.
Well, Maxey goes hard at the inside D, basically taking away their good options. No surprise there. He's about as automatic as it gets from the stripe. I hope I didn't jinx him.
Morris passes to Lyles. The 3 is up. Rebound by Philadelphia.
The shooter thought he had enough space, but the defender was right on him.
Did a great job closing the gap, making the shooter feel uncomfortable.
The shot by Watford, no good. Bulls leading by 3. Here's Simons. Drummond grabs the miss.
I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised he missed that.
Philadelphia has gotten 6 of 11 threes to go in this game.
You gotta love how George always keeps his options open, willing to make the right pass.
Out to Simons. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks.
You gotta love how they've been crashing the boards, fighting hard for every miss.
Maxey passes to Watford. And he misses the go-ahead basket. Pass to Buzelis. Timeout called here. Chicago decides to talk it over.
Yeah, hoping to tap into something that'll get them clicking.
Yeah, they need to regroup and maybe try and draw something up that can get them a clean look at the basket.
Once again, a big round of
And so here is Chicago. Right wing. Here's Knox. Oh, no good on the last second attempt. And the first half comes to an end. We've got a close game going here.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, back. Chicago holding the upper hand after the first 2 quarters. They lead by 1 point. That's all for now.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Here's Edgecombe. We've got Anthony Simons. Buzelis out there with Rashawn Holmes. Then it's Corey Joseph. And it's Dozier in at the small forward position. That's the group for Billy Donovan getting going here in the second half. Here's Oubre. And that misses. That would have put him up. Chicago leading. Simons with it. Oubre picks him up to the right side. Here's Buzelis. And George with some nice D. Philadelphia shooting at a decent clip, 45% for the game.
Willing that ball in. Tyrese Maxey has a nose for points.
This is his second trip to the free throw line in this one.
Yeah, his accuracy from the stripe was pretty impressive in their previous game.
That free throw's good from Maxey. And the Bulls shooting 37% from the floor at this point. Three-pointer, Buzelis. Over to the wing. Chicago passing it around. There's Simons with a three. And once again, off the mark by Chicago.
That's not how you want to come out of the break. 3 straight misses. They need to settle in quick.
I like when Paul looks to score inside because he's more than capable of dunking it through.
Bulls trail by 4. Offensively, it's been a struggle for them.
Yeah, they need to string together some shots to have any kind of chance.
Buzelis' shot is good.
Put the first 3 misses behind them and finally ended their third quarter drought.
Timeout called, the 76ers.
Timeout for the 76ers. Heads up, fans. Who wants it free?
The Bulls making a switch here. Knox is checked in. And the three-point contest is one of the highlights of All-Star Weekend. Here are some of the contenders who have a shot to compete in the event.
And perhaps that list changes a little between now and All-Star Weekend, but I would have no problems if those guys end up competing.
You take a look at Simons. He occupies the top spot in voting. We'll very likely see him in the three-point shooting competition.
And he might already be the favorite. When he gets in a groove, he's automatic.
And this year's contest is really shaping up to be one to remember. Plenty of dead-eye shooters on that list so far.
And lots of guys have a three-point shot now. But this list is really the cream of the crop when it comes to putting up long-range bombs.
And they're dialed in offensively.
Sure are. Staying in attack mode and at the same time playing under control. It's nice to see they're not settling for three-pointers. These guys are putting in the work inside.
Here's Knox. Three-pointer off the mark. The Sixers lead by 7. Here's George. And give him another one. He's 6 of 8 and looking solid.
And their offensive game plan is clear. Get it inside and go to work.
You know, when you think about the league's most capable scorers, Paul George has to be on that list, Richard.
When I think of PG, he's just a perfect basketball player. Dunks, threes, mid-range. This man can do it all. And when he's got it going, it's hard to think of a more complete scorer.
Pass to Knox. To halt the run. The rebound by Embiid. Embiid's got 5 rebounds tonight. Here's Maxey. Oh, that bucket gives him his 7th field goal in 12 tries.
Credit them for making the right halftime adjustments.
Oh, yeah, I can't agree more. They haven't missed.
And it's Knox missing.
The way he started this game, you wondered if he'd ever cool down, and the answer is yes.
Third quarter of basketball here. A little under 3.5 minutes gone by. No stopping Joel Embiid. Wow.
Man, that's now 10 straight points in the paint. I'm not sure what's happened to their defense, man.
Three-pointer, Buzelis. And again, Chicago, no good.
Okay, now I think he's starting to get in his own head right now. Maybe he's overthinking things a little bit, and as a result, he's just been off.
Yeah, it seems like George could do this all night. He just keeps finding shots.
Here's Knox. And again, Chicago, no good.
They've shown the power inside. Their rebounding effort has been sensational.
And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Oubre. And a quick look at how the Chicago Bulls schedule is shaping up. On Saturday, they'll take on Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. And then Monday, they'll be taking on Rudy Gobert and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And you know, for that matchup with the Magic, no question they'll be amped for that one, eager to prove themselves against a tough opponent.
The Sixers lead by 17. For three, Maxey. Nice shot there,
Tyrese
making him 8 for
Maxey.
13.
And they just
3 points.
continue to sharpen their offense here in the second half.
They need something good to happen here.
Yeah, they've gone way too long without a score.
Oh, wow. He's yet to score this quarter, and it's not for a lack of trying. They just need him to make something. What a move by PG with the hard finish.
Thanks to the AT&T Connected Cam for the up-close and personal view of that slam. Three-pointer, Buzelis. Rebound by Philadelphia. Edgecombe's got rebound number 7 tonight. Pass to Embiid. And it's Dozier with the rebound. Well, Chicago's shooting poorly. Just 29% from the floor in this game. And it's Knox missing.
Yeah, they just can't seem to end the drought no matter where they shoot it from.
Oh, my
Hey,
goodness.
how
How about that?
Wow, VJ Edgecombe. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of these highlight reel plays over his career.
And it's Knox missing.
The one thing he and his coach have in common, they'll both have nightmares about this quarter. Yikes.
Running at every opportunity. They have a huge edge in transition points.
To the wing, right side. Pass to Knox. Another miss. Boy, they're in a funk right now.
And with his team trying to trim this margin, his struggles this quarter, they're not helping things.
Oubre. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Opportunity for a three-point play here.
Second personal
And that's
foul.
a backbreaker for the defense. I mean, offensive boards like that run momentum against you.
And you can see them just deflate after giving up that score. And they know that they can't dig themselves out of this hole if they're allowing second chance points.
At the end of the third quarter, a huge lead. This one may have already been decided. The Sixers on top.
The 76ers, 69.
And now we have a moment to reveal our State Farm assist of the game.
This is the definition of team chemistry. I love to see this kind of communication and connection between teammates leading to the perfect pass.
Serving it up on a platter, that is a beautiful dish. And two teammates on the same page, woo.
And there have been two very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. On the court for Philadelphia to start the fourth. Kelly Oubre out there with Trendon Watford. Then there's Edwards, and it's Barlow in at the power forward position.
Sometimes it's just not your night. Fortunately, his teammates have picked up the slack.
Oubre with a steal. And he banks in the layup.
Kelly Oubre
Oubre's
Jr.
got 11 in the second half.
They're just taking what the defense gives them. And right now, that's the interior.
Pass to Lyles. From deep three-point range, Philadelphia grabs the miss. From 12 feet, and he knocks the jumper down.
They've been unable to get guys back up court.
We played just over a minute here in the fourth. Drains the triple.
Yeah, such an assertive shooter. Simons has his feet planted and just hits it.
Outside Edwards. Back to Watford. Lets it go from deep. Good. The assist goes to Edwards.
This is just fun. These teams are trading threes back and forth.
This is today's NBA. Hey, we see this kind of exchange more often than not.
And it's Lyles missing.
Just an ugly show from him offensively. Yep, no way to describe it, just ugly, and that hasn't helped.
Up again.
They have hit the boards hard this half. Those second chance points are mounting up.
Tice passes to Simons. There's the triple. No good that time.
And this is exactly who you want taking that shot. He just missed it.
All right, let's get an update on Rashawn Holmes' injury. Allie, what do you have?
I chatted briefly with the head athletic trainer for the Bulls, and this one not something you hear often, a pinched nerve in his elbow. But from the sound of it, it's much more than just a funny bone. As we get into the season, injuries becoming more common. In this case, he's been given the green light to keep playing. He'll just have to be more careful moving forward. Guys?
Allie, thanks for the info.
And you better believe he's eager to return to action.
Simons passes to Tice. Chicago passing it around. Another three for Chicago.
A dozen consecutive points off of threes. This defense looks rattled.
Right wing. Let's go with a three. Tice grabs the miss.
And imagine how good they'll look if he can start to chip in a bit more offensively.
Inside, the kick out to Morris. There's Simons with a three. Rebound by Philadelphia. Barlow's got 4 rebounds now. Outside Edwards. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth.
Just a textbook lead pass right there, putting it right where it needed to be.
Here's Micic. He's covered by Oubre. Out to Simons. Out to the right wing. Here's Lyles. Knocks down the long J. Lyles has got 9 points now in the quarter.
This has been their game plan here in the final period. We'll see if it continues to work out.
I think when you've got it going from three-point range, you've got to keep it going. It's a good way to kind of pile up the points quickly.
And let's face it, they won't get back in the game with fouls like that.
Knox, he's checked in for Micic. Edgecombe, he's checked in for Philadelphia. Maxey comes in for Barlow.
2 minutes.
Lyles' shot is good.
This is what it's been since halftime. Remarkable results from downtown.
In the modern NBA, you have to hit threes to win games, and they've made that adjustment since the break.
To the inside. Back to Watford. Lets a three fly. Simons with a rebound.
And the defense got away with one there. I mean, that's a shot he typically makes.
Driving in. Edwards pulls it in. Philadelphia has gone 1 for 5 shooting from the arc here in the fourth.
And what a complete performance we saw from them. A dominant win in every way for the 76ers.
In today's game, you need to shoot it well from 3. That was the difference maker.
Exactly. And the defense didn't rotate out quickly enough to disrupt their shooters.
And this win will give them 12 on the year thus far.
And with just 1 game left to play between them, they've captured the first 2 meetings of the year.
And when you look at the game, the one thing that helped fuel this team to victory was the efficiency for Tyrese Maxey.
Incredible game for him. He had endless energy. No doubt, best player on the floor tonight.
Morris can't hit. Philadelphia dictating the flow. And here's Maxey outside. Tips it up. Oh, he hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
They really came in with the right mindset today. I can guarantee you their flight home will be filled with some smiles.
And as it should be, to be this dominant on another team's floor, look, when you go home, you can go home feeling good.
Stepping up and nailing an important shot to put this away.
And that score probably slams the door for any would-be comebacks. And look, they put this one to bed.
To the left side wing. Here's Knox. So no problem.